we're talking about dating apps and why it's such an issue, one of the more common perspectives that people give is that dating apps are just for hookups. Okay, I want y'all to type that in the chat. Dating apps are just for hookups. That's the first problem. Okay, this is the first problem that people typically blame. Dating apps are just for hookups. Now, here's the issue, right? Here's the issue with us believing that dating apps are just for hookups. Okay, is that even though there are some people who will get on dating apps and use dating apps for hookups, that is not the essential usage or purposes of dating apps. Because if we actually look at what is even required for someone to engage in something for the intentional purposes of a hookup, guess what's required to do that? What's required is for you to have a mind made up within yourself that I am only going to engage with said app, said, you know, social media account, said this, said that, as a means to get some draws, as a means to slide in the bed, as a means to have a fun night and have a happy ending. But all that is based off of you, the individual, your intentionality, your direction, and what type of energy you're giving when it comes to creating the account, posting on the account, so on and so forth. So, guess what the real problem is for this? If we're going to say dating apps are just for hookups, the real issue is you. The real issue is the energy you're leading with. The real issue is the intentionality behind the individual who is showing up for this app and who is engaging in this app in a manner to not build something intentionality or intentional. Okay. Your profile, here's my ultimate thought process. Your profile is what you make it. All right. Your profile is what you make it. Your account is what you make it. Your Instagram is what you make it. Your TikTok is what you make it. Your YouTube is what you make it. Your podcast is what you make it. Your business is what you make it. Your relationships, your marriage, your family, okay? Your wardrobe, whatever. It's what you make it. And I think too many times we've gotten into these places where we're quick to blame external people, external situations, and external environments for what? What we can control. Right? And what we can control is not only how we are approaching these apps, how we are approaching people, how we are approaching environments, but guess what we can also control? What we accept and what we allow in proximity to ourselves. I want you to write that down. What we control is what we allow and what we allow access to us for. I'm trying to paint this in a different direction so it's not sounding so crazy. What we allow is what we give access to. What we allow is what we give access to, and what we give access to is what we can control. What we allow is what we give access to, and what we give access to is what we can control. Say it one more time. What we allow is what we give access to, and what we give access to is what we have control over. Okay. And so if I'm going to give access to someone to connect with me, then that means that I have the control to say yes or no, to come into agreement or not, to do it or don't do it. It's not someone forcing me. It's not someone holding me hostage to do it. I am literally making the decisions, small decisions turning into large decisions, compounding effects that leads to an ultimate decision being made on not just the relationship, but what I'm giving access to. Okay. You don't walk around talking about somebody forcing you to listen to a particular style of music. That's just not what you do. Okay. Whether you got earbuds, AirPods, speakers, driving down the road in your phone, whatever the case is. Just like you got the permission in your own car with your own usage to turn the knob, to change the radio station, to change the type of music you're listening to type in a different song, okay, to plug in the aux, to cut it all off and ride in silence. All of that is a decision. Just like you have the decision to answer a text message or to leave a text message alone, to answer and pick up a scam likely call, or to hit decline and hit delete and report spam junk. All of these things are legitimate decisions that you can make. All of these things are legitimate decisions that you can make. And so, why is it that we feel that we cannot make these same decisions when it comes to engaging with people who are presenting themselves as something in front of us that now we have an opportunity to see as it is and make a decision about it moving forward? This is what gives us the power back to be able to make that type of decision based off what we see. So the problem isn't so much that this is a center hub for hookups. Are there people that get on dating apps for those intentionalities? Yes. Does that mean that dating apps are for that alone? No. If you go back and listen to our previous conversation, we actually touched on statistics that read 12% of couples actually ending in marriage. Okay, 23% of relationships created through dating apps actually entering long-term relationships. Okay, albeit low relative numbers over recent years. But that also is giving us understanding that this is not just for the purposes of hookups. And so if we're going to not use dating apps, I think it would be really helpful if we just made the decision to not use them just because it's not your cup of tea, it's not something that you're doing. That's all fine and dandy. And again, this isn't the purposes of trying to convince you to use them. But I'm noticing the reasons why people say they don't use them are for reasons that really don't fit elsewhere, that really don't fit a lane of consistency. And what we do is we perpetuate these type of statements and sayings only because we heard somebody else say it, not because it's actually true. Okay? Your profile is what you make it. So just as you create a social media account for specifics, dating apps move the same, right? I can get on an app, create a profile, engage with people, connect with people, and not find myself moving in the same lane, same vein, and same craziness. Okay? Take myself, for example, because I've led with this type of energy. Okay? Being on dating apps and having my time on dating apps before, there was a time where your boy was moving from a place of fear of missing out. Your boy was trying to catch up. I was just on there. You know, you got those people that just swipe right. Okay? Swipe right on whatever. Just for the validation of likes, just for the validation of matches. Okay? And we're going to get to that in a minute and point out why that being an issue is more so back on you and not the actual environment. But when we're talking about these things, you know, for me, that was a time where I wasn't moving in intentionality, wasn't actually looking for serious commitment, wasn't actually looking for all those things. And so the big issue was me, right? The big issue was me showing up and not being intentional with my energy and efforts. And even though I was on there for one thing, I recognized that there were people who were on there for something completely different, which had me have to sit down and do a genuine heart check because I realized after a short while that I was moving in a very disrespectful, dishonoring manner because I wasn't taking into consideration how someone else was moving and engaging with said conversation with me. I was just solely focused on what I was after and what I wanted. And that isn't even the epitome of love or peace, let alone abundance and moving from a place of fullness. So what I quickly learned from my experience was that, man, we are not all here for the same thing. But just because we're not all here for the same thing doesn't mean that I cannot carry a specific intention with what I'm here for and be able to vet out and discern that which who are here for the same thing and perhaps who are here for something different. It takes intentionality, people. Saying dating apps are just for hookups is like saying the gym are just for meatheads. That's like saying protein shakes are just for people who are swollen bodybuilders. No, that couldn't be further from the truth. Go to your local gym. Matter of fact, just look at yourself. Most of you aren't a bodybuilder. Yet you go to the gym, you track your protein, you track your calories, and you're pretty consistent. So does that mean that the gym is only for those type of people? No. When you go to the gym, there's plethora of people who show up, lift weights, exercise, and guess what? Everybody's not there to have muscles on muscles on muscles. Some people are there because they are really focused on trying to lose weight. For some people, they're there because they're trying to get their mental health in line. For some people, it's a way for them to get out the house, release some steam. It's been a long day, right? And so saying dating apps are just for hookups, we can't even take that same level of generalization and put that to everywhere else. That's like saying going to church is just for Christians. Last time I checked, the church is a hospital. At least how they paint it, at least how it's supposed to be. The church and going to church isn't just for believers and Christians. So many people who are supposed to be available to come in and worship and experience a God who is present in the home, in the sanctuary, walking up and down the aisles, all the things. So just like we wouldn't say the gym is just for meatheads, church is just for Christians, the store are just for people who know how to cook, why would we then assume dating apps are just for hookups? And this is where the oversimplification really, really starts to stick out. And what I'm bringing you into, as I hope you're seeing, is a level of nuance to just sit and think. Just sit down and think for a second. This is not to get you to use them or to not use them. Everyone else to each their own, right? But I think we should be able to make these decisions at least from a healthier place and at least know why we're making the decision. And at least know why.
Hey you, so glad that you made it to the end of the video. Okay, if you want to know more of the context behind what was shared in this video, be sure to click here, okay, because that's going to be actually the stream replay as part of our recent series or conversation that we shared live with our audience. Be sure to check those out. We go live weekly across all platforms. And also, if you want to know the deeper meaning behind all that was shared and really the biggest goal of getting you to a place of security to let go of anxious attachment, but more importantly, to learn why you keep losing yourself in the midst of relationships, because it's a lot simpler than you think. It's going to be explained in one video to get you the results you need right then and there. Explains everything. Be sure to click here, okay, for this video. All right, and I hope to see you over there. Peace.